Hello ladies and gentlemen, Rosie here, and I play Dead by Daylight, so you don't have to. Quick video with some subpar visual aid today. I just wanted to talk about one of the criticisms of MMR, which is the Blendette level up. I don't know what would be a good name, Scott Jun-like name for this argument. The idea that if you play Claudette, sit in the corner and do nothing, you could somehow play the system to get to high MMR. This is something that content creators have just dumped all over us. Like, this is some huge way to disprove the validity of MMR, that you can just get to high MMR by sitting in the corner and doing nothing, okay? Now, let's talk about that, because, there's some times where I'm playing the game, and, I do not see certain survivors from time to time, and it does feel like the 3 survivors can carry all the weight, which they can because of the bad balance. But let's talk about a few of these exceptions. First of all, if the guy that's doing nothing is involved in a 4-man Swift group, okay? 4-man Swift can do whatever the fuck it wants. I think a lot of people forget that. Like, a 4-man Swift can win the game in 4 minutes. A 4-man Swift can never be found across the whole map if they really wanted to. A 4-man Swift can do anything 4-man Swift wants to do. So if a 4-man Swift's win condition is to win the game with 3 people while one Claudette hides in the corner and does nothing, they can do that, because they can do anything. So any potential game where it's a bunch of friends trying to disprove MMR by doing a 4-man Swift and having one person not do anything, that isn't really a disproval of MMR, because 4-man Swift can do whatever it wants. Okay, so that's the idea of a Swift going in there and trying to make someone's MMR go up by having them do nothing. I don't know if people are actually doing that. That's just something I feel like could be happening. If you listen to content creators, they would have you believe that this is a rampant fucking problem. They would have you believe that this is a glaring hole in the system that you can use to exploit the bad MMR system to rank up easier. Okay? From my experience, I don't see this happening for the most part. Again, I did mention that some games, particularly on bigger maps, it can kind of feel like it's happening, but it doesn't. Even in those games, you can't really know for sure what people are doing, because there's no way to rewatch matches. You can't really 100% know. So, even in those matches, is it really happening? I would still argue that this issue is very, very small, because it's not happening. It's like the hacker epidemic. I'm not seeing this in my games. I'm not. It's not there. Every survivor at where I'm at seems to be at least semi-competent. They seem to know what they're doing. They have a basic understanding of gen spacing, awareness, chase fundamentals. They seem to know what the fuck they're doing. Like, I'm not saying they're gods, but like, the days of finding potatoes in base skins, that's not a thing anymore. That's dead. Like, I'm not seeing this epidemic of Claudettes that everyone always tells me to. And they're like, oh, there's a build for it, bro. Yeah, there's a build for everything. Just because there's a build for it, that doesn't make it work. That doesn't make the build good. Almo runs bunk and joke builds all the time, and he thinks they're good. So it's like, just because there's a build for something, that also doesn't make it work. And then the final way that I really want to disprove the existence of Claudette, or like this somehow invalidates the MMR system, is that in order to fix any potential rise in Claudette's blending in and getting to high MMR that way, there is a way to fix it that does not involve changing the MMR system. This is not a problem that the MMR system is responsible for fixing. This is a potential problem, that the developers can add new mechanics to the base game that will solve. AKA Identity 5s. If you're not doing anything, birds should show up. That's all you have to do to fix this. If the survivor's not doing anything, birds should show up. Moving does not count as doing something. If they're just walking around, not doing anything, sitting in the corner, and then moving from time to time to avoid the bird trigger, that's what needs to be fixed, not any actual change to the MMR system. The MMR system is fine. It needs improvements in other regards. This is not a be-all, end-all argument against MMR. Okay? This is an argument for a flawed design in the game itself. The system doesn't need to address that. The developers need to address that through a change that will make these stealthier players, quote-unquote stealthier players that don't do anything, that they need to change that with the birds. They need to make that style of play worse through game changes, not changes to the MMR system. Not every problem with the MMR system requires an MMR system change. That's just something Scott Jund and his cronies are going to yell at you about and expect you to be like, well, the MMR must not be accurate. There's other ways to improve the MMR system besides flat out just changing the MMR system. And this is a prime example of that. All right, that's all I really wanted to say today. This argument is just tired. It's one of the only things they have. So of course they keep spamming it, but like, it's not good because there's so many other ways that you can deal with it besides bruh MMR bad. We have to change MMR because this has been a problem way longer. Like, birds have needed to spawn on survivors a lot faster for a lot longer than this. It's not the MMR system's fault. Okay, that's my main argument. I'm getting the hell out of here. GG's, lads. Thanks for listening to my short dissertation today.